If you're not watching Game of Thrones, you're missing out on a cultural phenomenon. At least that's what die-hard series fans would have you think. And make no mistake, there are a lot of them. As the show's third season begins, ABC's David Wright learns the game and the language that's breaking all TV's rules.
As Game of Thrones starts season 3, there be dragons headed to Westeros.
I need an army.
Fire-breathing dragons. Promising to heat up the action in HBO's already sizzling saga about this fantasy realm where furs are in fashion.
But I might be your prisoner, but I'm a free woman.
Where the idea heads will roll is
Bring me his head.
not just a metaphor. Where all the women seem to get naked sooner or later.
I have always wanted to see a dragon.
And where a dwarf is a sex symbol.
Let's start with your last night in this world.
Game of Thrones is kind of like Lord of the Rings with an NC-17 rating.
I shall show you no mercy.
Only on HBO.
There's sex, there's intrigue, but there's fighting.
There's a character for everyone. You know, you can fall in love or feel affiliated to whoever you want.
The show is wildly popular among men for obvious reasons. In the HBO pantheon, more popular week to week than The Sopranos or The Wire were. But the Game of Thrones stars insist this is not just for Dungeons and Dragons fans.
For the ladies that think it's just swords and battles, then they should seriously take a look. There's some serious kick-ass female roles and some girl power going on.
Sometimes girl-on-girl power, too. Saturday Night Live's parody was spot on.
I make sure there are lots of boobs in the show.
He can take one look at a scene and know exactly what's missing.
Indeed, the formula seems to be intrigue.
My wife is in Winterfell.
Is she?
Swordplay and skin. The cast cleans up well. This year, for the first time, HBO is giving the show star treatment, including a traveling exhibition of props and costumes that just opened in New York City.
This is about as lavish as fantasy comes. It's not a cheap show to make.
The producers pay careful attention to detail, not just of the Iron Throne, but of other aspects of the show as well, including Dothraki. What's Dothraki, some of you ask? Well, who better to explain than someone who's clearly in the nerd demographic at the heart of the show's audience, Dwight Schrute of The Office.
Dothraki is the native tongue of the nomadic, warmongering horse lords of Essos, as featured in the superb home box office series Game of Thrones.
JV Dothraki. Today I'm just going to go through the Dothraki numbers from 1 to 10.
On YouTube, you'll find practically an entire syllabus for Dothraki 101, pronunciation guides, practice videos, and chat groups. There's even an unofficial Dothraki English dictionary. To what extent is this a real language?
Well, Dothraki has a full grammar. Right now, Dothraki is at about 3,700 words. I'd love to get it up to about 10,000 words.
32-year-old David Peterson is the father of modern Dothraki. Whole scenes done with subtitles. An entire language created by an amateur linguist. Peterson's Dothraki was inspired by the language of George R.R. Martin's books, but it's an entirely new creation.
I interpreted how I thought George R.R. Martin wanted these things pronounced, and then did something to reflect that, though I apparently got it wrong. He pronounces Dothraki, Dothraki.
He records every line for the actors. It's not easy.
My Sun and Stars would be Sheikh Mashirakiani.
Sheikh Mashirakiani.
Yeah, good.
What does it add to have a language that's real?
The bar is being constantly raised. Audiences are coming to expect this type of thing. They expect this level of authenticity.
Peterson's now been hired to create the second Game of Thrones language that'll debut Sunday in the season premiere. One of several things to look forward to.
There's more shocks, there's more deaths. There's tender moments too. It's my favourite season so far.
This is kind of the game changer because people's fortunes kind of switch on their heads in this season. You can expect a lot of shocking stuff.
As a Dothraki might say, Gango Awazat. For Nightline.
Ginny Nightline.
Ginny Nightline.
There you go.
I'm David Wright in Hollywood.